Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Minecraft. I did a live stream yesterday and I had a suggestion on it to call this server Brokencraft because I'm Fikibreaker, and I don't know if that is a better name than Fikitopia or which one is better. I'm not sure, so please do let me know down in the comments what you like more. And I had super fun yesterday on live stream. It was so fun, it was so great. So thank you everybody for dropping by. And let's just begin today's episode. You all must be wondering what this platform is about, and it is for growing spruce trees. I can plant a total of 4 in a row, and I can plant a 4x4 of 2x2 spruce trees pretty much. And that way I can get a whole bunch of spruce logs without leaving a podzol mess for me to fix on the island. So I did a bit of chopping in between episodes, and we have almost a full shulker box of spruce trees. I have used a little bit to make chests, and we also have a shulker box of jungle trees because I wanted to get some more jungle saplings. So I believe in here we now have a full stack of jungle saplings, and that is all good and nice. The outro clip in the last episode was a little bit of a spoiler for today's episode, and can you see what the difference is? Well, one of the floors has kind of moved up top. And I did all of that work in between episodes because it was everything that we've already done. And I kind of just wanted to get it over with and get it done. That's why we have this tower of redstone blocks and netherrack around it with rails. And I could have probably used this before because it's much easier to build. And you can also protect the zombie automatically with this because each of the top rails covers the next rail, so the zombie never burns. And you only have to cover the lines that would go through, and it would be a little bit less work, and we would have been done faster. But it is what it is. So now the iron farm fully works. We get 16 golems every single time they spawn. None of the channels or none of the villagers stop working or stop sleeping or stop spawning golems. So we always get 16 golems as long as we're in the area, and we're loading all of the villagers, which will be pretty much a lot of the time because the storage system is going to go in this area, and that means that this will be loaded all the time. Because if we're here in the middle of the island, we're going to be pretty much loading almost all of the island. As far as the storage is concerned, I added a whole bunch of chests, more than I actually need to, but I thought I was going to get a bunch while AFKing, and I've been cleaning it out ever since, and this is just a tiny bit of the iron that I've accumulated in the past couple of days. And also, we accumulated 3 stacks and almost more than 3 stacks. We accumulated 4 stacks and 42 blocks of bone from poppies. I've just been tossing them in these chests here, and they've been composting ever since when I'm loading the farm. So, as far as the other iron that we have, I have it back at the other storage. And I kind of had to dedicate a single chest to iron specifically, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is actually 7 full shulker boxes of iron blocks and a little bit of iron ingots, but iron for days. We can probably very soon open up a shop, but it's not going to happen in today's episode, at least I don't think, depending on how fast we finish the gravel farm, which is where we're going to go next, because I want to show you a little bit of a time lapse that I did over there. I was digging out a little bit more area than we need, and now we can actually go and assemble the farm. And this is how a simple, basic AFK silverfish gravel farm with our super duper data pack is going to work. And I've started laying out the framework on the bottom for our kind of like AFK area thing. And we're also going to have some chests here on the wall, or at least possibly just 1 or 2 chests. Actually, one is going to be for silverfish heads and the other one is going to be for gravel. And we're going to set up a shulker box loading system. Probably underneath the middle, we can just load it up in shulker boxes, and then we can break the shulker box and bring it over and toss it into a chest. Because it's going to be weird if we set it up here, because the redstone is quite tall, and it might protrude through the glass. And I think on 2 of the sides here, I would want to set up some of these stairs, that's the word, and go up and then do a walkway all around the place here. And we're going to do everything on the half slab layer, or we can also use glass if we wanted to. I pretty much have now a base shape for what I want this room to look like. This entire middle piece is going to change. It's going to move downwards into the floor pretty much. And we have another portal set up right here. I still need some sort of interesting design here on the walls. And I'm thinking of adding a couple water features behind this iron bars. So just letting some water drop down from there. I don't know how we might drop it from the back block and then let it flow down like this and then kind of do the same here. We can probably break that block back there and then flow it down like this. And I think it's going to look nice. I've added a spruce flooring and I also added some stripped spruce right here to just vary up the textures a little bit. I've also variated the polished andesite with the regular andesite, and we could even bring in like stone or something, but I think it's going to be too busy. I think it's fine for the time being. And over here on this side, I kind of want to change it up a little bit. I'm thinking we're going to bring this together to make the 2 wide staircases right here. So we can have a little bit of a line going across here, kind of like I ran it over here on this side. So we could hide the nether portal. And I'm going to figure out the 2 wide staircase like this. So it's going to come up here. We're going to place a little bit of stone and like that. And if we break these iron bars here, we should have this match up right over here to this platform. So I think it should be fine. We can then just, instead of running this here, we're going to have just a 1 wide feature of this here in the middle. Like that, and it's going to look fine. And we can then just run, we could run this over if we wanted to, like so. I'm going to fix this other side off camera here. So let's just get rid of this for the time being. Add a stair. Right, so we have that. We bring this wall 1 over, and then when we come up here, we kind of just replace all of this with a little bit of spruce. And we come up here, and then we're on a 3 wide pathway to the middle here, so you can walk around and actually look at the spawner. Because there's not going to be many features over here. I'm just going to add a wall and just add some sort of pattern that I can repeat all the way up to the top. And I still want to add a drop-down lamp system for this because I want to be able to turn the spawner on and off. And I'm not entirely sure if we want to just lower that entire ceiling by 1. And I think then I can just have lamps on the floor. We don't need to have, or on the ceiling, we don't need to have those drop-down things that we have at the skeleton farm. I think that might work. I might have to go test it out in creative a little bit, but that is generally the plan. So let me get on to fixing these staircases, and we can see about adding some water features as well and making it look pretty. This is coming directly from the wiki, but when spawning from spawners, the silverfish can spawn only in light level 11 or lower, except on top of stone and its variants where they can spawn at any light level. So basically, the lamps up top are not doing anything because the light level in the bottom of the area is still not high enough. It would have to be 15 or 12 everywhere, which is not. And normally those work for hostile mob spawns because hostile mob spawns go for light level 8 or higher. They do not work from spawners, which is what those lamps provide in the entire surrounding of the spawning area. So having those up top is totally pointless, and I will go remove them even though I built them 1 block lower thinking that that would work, but it doesn't. And I have another issue which we have to take care of down there. The entire idea that I had to have a manual mode and an automatic mode is not going to work with this sort of water layout, so I'm going to change it, which basically means that I have to remove everything I've built down here, which isn't going to take too long, but I have to do it. I want to have a manual and auto kill mode, so I'm going to be persistent that way because we want to make a great gravel farm. Okay? Okay. So, I'm going to leave this middle block here for the time being, so they still get flushed down and killed while I work. And then we're going to put 2 water sources over there, and it's going to flush them over to the side. And we're going to bring them up and over. And the killing floor and everything of this is going to be up top, I believe, because the water is at the right level. So all I have to do is bring them down into a hole, up, over, and down. And the nether portal is going to be still on this side, so we can set up the killing chamber on the other side. And then we can still use one side, the other side, for storage of gravel and silverfish heads. Now that we have the water streams rebuilt and everything else underneath the floor is pretty much gone, I think the best thing to do is to add some iron bars right here on the edges, because mobs tend to get stuck on the corners. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do this, and we're going to go like this. It's going to flush away some torches down there, but at least the mobs will then fall down and get pushed into here. I hope it's going to work fine. But over here, we're going to transport them to our killing chamber, and I need to figure out where we want to go, because I think I'm gonna have to go a little bit over to the side and then over and up, because I'm gonna have some redstone right underneath the magma block to switch it over from the magma block and the other thing, which we can just put some pistons right here behind it. It shouldn't be that difficult to do. Because we have everything in the wall now and we can easily hide it. So I have my redstone box here. I'm going to get some stuff going so we can have a button that says manual mode and auto kill mode, and we can just use that. We could even simply just put the storage here on the side and then the button on the other side. I think that's fine. Or even better, we could put one side of the storage here, one side of the storage here, a button somewhere here, and a button somewhere here, and we can just have manual mode, kill mode, something like that. I think that will look even better. I have a semi-working design. It is not fully unbreakable, which is kind of what's bothering me, but it does what it's supposed to do. So I have a system where I can push a button and the lamp turns on as well. So if I want it to be in regular silverfish mode so I can kill them with the sword, I push this, it pushes the smooth quartz block right there, and I can manually smack at the silverfish. And if I push this guy, it goes back to magma block mode and it automatically kills them. So the problem here is if I press this again, it depowers that and powers that and doesn't switch the things. So basically it only works if you press the button, and then I can get it basically broken because it's not gonna, well, it's actually easily fixed. So it's not an issue that much, but yeah, I mean, it's all good, I think. It does what it does. So the way this works is we have a piston here behind the lamp that pushes up the observer, which pulses this redstone block down, which powers the repeater, which powers these block next to the redstone lamp. And basically, you get a redstone lamp that's on and off depending on what you put or what you pressed. And Then we take the same signal from the observer through this block and we power the piston, so we we push the block over, and then we also power this block backwards to retract this, so basically you switch the modes. So if I want it to on gravel mode, it's going to push this redstone block down, but it's going to bring this redstone block back up because of the nature of this. I could have a simpler solution with levers, but I generally like buttons more than levers, so it is going to be this way. And I think it's going to easily fit. I've designed everything around this central area, so it's all out of the way, and glass will be replaced by actual solid blocks. I just have it there for viewing purposes. I managed to figure out how we're going to squeeze in a storage system and also transport the silverfish. I wanted to say shulkers for some reason, but they're going to drop down into that water stream, just going to flow down into this bubble vader, which is going to then take them up top and then over, and they're going to drop down onto the magma block or on the spruce, depending on which mode we have set on. And then the items are going to get collected by that minecart hopper that is sitting on a rail, and that is important. It has to be on a rail, otherwise it won't pick up the items through the blocks. Then they're going to go into the hoppers, go over here through this item filter, which is going to filter out gravel. It's going to then load it into the shulker box, which I have a very small shulker box loader that I found on the YouTubes. So it's super simple. All you have to do is have a comparator pointing into a come on, thank you. Okay, pointing into a block with redstone, and then a redstone torch here, a redstone dust here, which is basically preventing the comparator from detecting anything from the shulker box unless the signal is 15, because it's going to subtract it. And the shulker box has 48 items in the last slot, so I can show you how this is going to work. Gravel, let's say it gets collected by that minecart hopper, so it should go in there. It will flow down through this into the shulker box, and as soon as the shulker box is filled, it's going to break, boom, go into the hopper, and we have it collected right here. So the easiest solution for us to do on this side is take that hopper line and bring it over through there. And it might be, it's going to go right there. We might lower it down a bit more by one more block, I think. It should be fine. And actually, we can even just put a dropper down here, drop it into a water stream, and then use the water to transport the shulker box over that hopper right there. Also, what we're going to do is take this hopper line, which is going to have everything besides gravel, and we're just going to bring it over to here, and then do just a quick little dropper tower, I think will be easiest for this, just to get it up to that barrel. I have everything completed now, and the farm is functional and working properly. So the silverfish drop down into this water stream. We're going to wait for the next batch to spawn. So they drop down, and then we have a soul sand with a full water source, so that's a bubble column. And if they're a bit stubborn, they land in there, they bounce up a little bit, and they either bounce up to the top of the water, or they try to swim backwards, which basically makes them bounce up higher, you just saw it there, and they get transferred over. The stuck point is right over here, where they need to get pushed over into the bubble vader to take them up to the top. So you just have to wait for another batch to spawn, and then they nudge each other, or at some point they just start to pathfind the other way. So that makes them drop down into here, where we can easily kill them. And as far as the redstone is concerned, I moved the item filter back one block. So this hopper line is now a straight line because this kind of got into the way a little bit. So the dropper elevator is a super simple one. I have used it before in the past. It's just a comparator going into a block, into a torch, a redstone dust, a repeater, and another torch, and then a torch tower up top. It's a silent one. The only issue with this one is if it gets overwhelmed or if there's a little bit of lag, it can break, but it's going to get one silverfish head every so often, so it's not going to break at all. And then over here on the other side, we pick up the shulker box on this slab with this hopper. It gets dropped into the water stream, flows over, up the bubble vader, and into the hopper right over here. And we can check how many we have, or how much gravels we have right now. So it's going to take a little bit of a time to fill this up so we can actually see it in action. But now I'm going to go and do a bit of AFK farming. And then I'll probably just switch it to manual mode or to automatic mode while we go build the walls. I decided to just finish off the rest of the stuff off camera. I put in the top part of the wall and also the ceiling, and I think it looks all right. I varied the lamps a little bit. I don't know if the lanterns, I should say. The redstone lamps, I don't know if they're a little bit too much, but I'm so used to using them in wall designs because they add quite a nice texture. But just let me know down in the comments if you like this. I think it's all right. It's not my best work, but it is all good. It is all spawn proof. It is a working spawner. It works at maximum efficiency, I think, because the lanterns don't provide enough light for the silverfish to not spawn. All of them eventually end up down in the stream, come up over here, and they get killed either by my sword or by the magma block. I added a few signs because Silver Bullet actually came online while I was building this, and he wanted to see it, and then he offered to pay me 3 diamond blocks for the use of this farm, and he gives me half of the stuff that he AFKs for. So he already gave me 5 shulker boxes of gravel, and I don't know if this entire thing is too fast, because he AFK'd, what, 10 shulker boxes of gravel? I don't know how long he was AFK for, but then again, if we make it slower, all it means is you have to spend more time AFK, and all you do is get gravel, which in turn can be turned into concrete powder, which is a block that's used for building, and I just want the ability to build with concrete to be a bit easier and not require duping, because you can still dupe, I think, sand and gravel with the end portal, but that is forbidden on this server. So we have this, and I think it's fine. They drop, I think, like 2 to 5 or 0 to 5 gravel or something per kill, something like that, which is fine. I think it's fine. So let's go back to the base, and I will show you how much gravel I actually have. And the gravel that we have is this much. It's 2 rows of shulker boxes and a little bit. It is insane amounts of gravel, and it's wonderful because it means we never have to worry about gravel ever again, and that is wonderful news. And as far as the next projects go that I'm looking at, I want to get working on our storage system, because then I can actually start routing the iron to a bulk storage system inside of our storage system, and we can then start making other farms around the place that are also going to route to the same storage system. So for that, we're going to need a whole bunch of shulker shells. And for that, we have the ability in Carpet to allow shulkers spawning in end cities. And when they do, they can be killed and drop 2 shulker shells. And there is a wonderful tutorial on YouTube on how to build a super efficient farm. And I'm going to have to go find a proper end city that I want to build this in to make it work. I can probably find just one that is really small, and then we can put a very small farm over there, or we can find a big one, remove a whole lot of blocks, get a lot of endstone bricks and purple in the process, and build a bigger one. I don't know. I will decide in between episodes, but probably I'm leaning towards the bigger one because, you know, it's me, and go big or go home, right? And with that all said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I am hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to see new videos. You can support me on Patreon as well if you want to play with me here on this server. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great one. Bye-bye.